Have you ever loved someone so much it hurt, and wondered if you were losing yourself in the process? What if detachment wasn't about being cold, but about staying free, even while caring deeply? Imagine mastering your emotions so completely that heartbreak no longer destroys you, but transforms you. Welcome to Modern Stoic Life, where ancient wisdom meets the complexity of modern love. Today, we're exploring Stoic rules on how to emotionally detach. Not to become heartless, but to love without losing ourselves. In relationships, it's easy to get swept away. We give everything, hoping someone will complete us. But the Stoics taught, you are already whole. Their message wasn't about denying love, but about defining it on your terms. So what does that look like? It's learning to say, I love you, but I don't need you to feel whole. It's feeling fully, but choosing how to respond. It's recognizing attachment as a source of suffering and replacing it with mindful connection. Today, we're going deep. We'll walk through 5 Stoic rules to help you emotionally detach in a healthy way. Rules that don't kill love but clarify it. That don't make you cold but make you strong. Because the world tells us love is obsession. Stoicism tells us love is choice. And when you master that choice, you master yourself. So take a breath. Let this sink in. This isn't about suppressing emotions. It's about understanding them so you can be free. Ready? Let's begin. Rule 1. Know what you control. The Stoics believed all suffering comes from confusing what's in our power and what isn't. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. In love, this means you don't control whether someone loves you back, how they behave, how long they stay, but you do control how you respond, how much of yourself you give, how you think about them. Attachment grows when we think we can own someone. Emotional detachment starts when you remember you control only your own mind. So the next time you're spiraling about what they did, stop. Ask, is this in my control? If yes, take action. If no, let it go. This isn't coldness. It's clarity. Imagine you text someone you love and they don't reply. Your mind runs wild. Do they hate me? Are they leaving? A Stoic would pause. Breathe. Say, their reply is outside my control. My peace is not, and move on. Detachment is that simple, that hard. Asterisk, asterisk, rule 2. Expect loss. Cherish the present, Seneca taught. You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire. We love as if it will last forever, but fear losing it every second. Stoicism flips this. It teaches us to see love as temporary, and to cherish it more because of that. When you expect nothing to last forever, you love more fully now. You stop clinging. You start appreciating. Epictetus reminded his students, when you kiss your child, say, tomorrow you may die, not to be morbid, but to love without illusion. This is the second rule. Expect loss, not to push people away, but to hold them gently. Think of the last time you were afraid of losing someone. How did you act? Clinging? Controlling? What if instead you said, this might end, so let me be kind. Let me be grateful. Let me love with open hands. That's Stoicism in love. Rule 3. Master your self-talk. Emotional suffering often isn't about what's happening. It's about what we tell ourselves about it. They don't text back, I'm unlovable. They left me, I'll never find love again. They hurt me, I must hurt them back. A Stoic challenges these thoughts. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Emotional detachment isn't suppressing feelings. It's questioning the stories you tell yourself. It's saying, is this true? Is this helpful? Who do I want to be in this moment? A breakup doesn't have to mean, I'm worthless. It can mean, I'm learning. I'm growing. I'm freeing space for someone better. Aligned. You choose the meaning. That's emotional sovereignty. Rule 4. Practice voluntary discomfort. Seneca didn't wait for loss to break him. He practiced it. He slept on the floor, ate poor meals, walked barefoot. Why? So he'd remember he could survive it. In love, this means practicing being alone. It means not always reaching for validation. It's spending time with your own thoughts. It's learning that solitude isn't punishment. It's training. When you can sit with loneliness without needing someone to fill it, you become free. Imagine spending a Friday night alone, not scrolling for someone's attention, not texting an ex, just being. Uncomfortable? Yes, but that's where growth is. Emotional detachment is forged in those quiet nights, when you face yourself and find you're enough. Rule 5. Love as a choice, not a chain. The ultimate Stoic lesson. Love is not compulsion. It's choice. You're not obligated to love someone who hurts you. You're not forced to stay where you're not respected. You choose love. You choose boundaries. You choose yourself. This rule isn't about shutting off feelings. It's about channeling them. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one in love. Stop arguing over what they should do. Focus on who you are." Storytelling moment, you can say, "I love you, but I won't let you disrespect me. I care, but I won't lose myself for you. I'm here, but only as long as I'm whole." This is the power of emotional detachment. Not coldness, but sovereignty. Detachment doesn't kill love. It purifies it. It says, I don't need you to complete me. I choose you because I'm complete. And that's what makes love free and real. Now that we've laid out the 5 Stoic rules for emotional detachment, let's dive deeper. On page 2, we'll explore how to practice these rules daily, turning philosophy into habit, and building the emotional resilience to love without losing yourself. Let's keep going. Page 2. Turning rules into rituals, practicing emotional detachment daily. On page 1, we explored the 5 Stoic rules for emotional detachment. Not to run from love, but to master it. Not to shut off feelings, but to shape them with wisdom. But knowing these rules is only the beginning. Living them, that's the real work. That's the Stoic way. So today, let's bring these rules down from the mountain and into your daily life. Let's turn them into rituals you can actually practice. Because theory is easy, but transformation, that's in the practice. 1. Morning intentions, setting your emotional compass. The Stoics didn't stumble into resilience. They designed it day after day. Marcus Aurelius began each morning by anticipating challenges. He wrote, "Today I shall meet with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness." Why? Because expectation shapes reaction. When you expect people to be perfect, you're shocked by disappointment. When you expect imperfection, you meet it with patience. So your first ritual, every morning ask yourself, what challenges might I face today? How will I choose to respond? What part of me do I refuse to lose no matter what? Happens? Picture waking up already dreading a tough conversation. Instead of spiraling, pause. Say, I expect discomfort. I'll meet it with calm. You've just changed the entire day. 2. Evening reflections. Learning from your day. Seneca said, we should every night call ourselves to an account. The Stoics treated the day like a teacher. They asked, where did I stay calm? Where did I react? Where did I forget my power? This isn't self-shaming, it's self-mastery. Your second ritual, before bed reflect. Write it down if you can. Ask yourself, what did I learn about myself today? How can I choose better? Tomorrow, think of snapping at someone you love. That night, instead of ignoring it, you ask, why did I do that? What was I afraid of? How can I respond differently next time? That's Stoicism in action. 3. Mindful breathing, returning to the present. The Stoics taught that fear lives in the future, regret lives in the past, but peace, it lives in this breath, this moment. Epictetus said, there is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. Mindful breathing is the practice of returning to what you control. Your breath, your awareness, your choice. Your third ritual. When anxiety hits pause, breathe deeply. Ask, what is real right now? What is mine to control? Imagine waiting for a reply that never comes. Your chest tightens. Instead of reacting, close your eyes. Breathe. Say, I can't control them. I can choose my peace. 4. Voluntary discomfort. Training for loss. Seneca practiced poverty to prepare for misfortune. He slept on the floor, wore cheap clothes. Why? Because by tasting discomfort voluntarily, he learned he could survive it. He stole fear's power. Your fourth ritual. Practice being alone without reaching out just to soothe the ache. Spend time without your phone. Say no to instant gratification. Learn to sit with discomfort until it becomes your teacher. Picture choosing a quiet night in no texting an ex. No mindless scrolling. Just you, your thoughts. Uncomfortable? Yes. Empowering? Absolutely. 5. Talk rehearsal. Choosing your story. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, the things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Emotional. Detachment requires conscious self-talk, because our minds create meaning and meaning shapes feeling. Your fifth ritual. When pain arises, listen to your thoughts. Challenge them. Ask, is this true? Is this helpful? What else could this mean? You're ghosted by someone you cared about. Your mind screams, I'm not enough. Pause. Counter. Their silence is not my worth. I choose to value myself. 6. Loving without owning. Setting boundaries. The Stoics taught love is not ownership. It's partnership. It's saying, I choose you, but you don't define me. Your sixth ritual. Define your boundaries. Be clear about what you will. Accept and what you won't. Communicate them kindly, firmly, and respect them yourself. Think of saying, I love you, but I won't accept disrespect. That's not distance, it's dignity. These rituals aren't about building walls. They're about building foundations. They don't kill emotion, they channel it. They don't end love, they free it from chains. Emotional detachment isn't suppression, it's sovereignty. It's saying, I am responsible for my peace. One choose how I love, I choose how I respond, and I choose to remain whole even in love. Now that we've built these rituals into our daily life, let's go deeper. On page 3, we'll see how Stoics handle relapses, those moments when the heart takes over and detachment feels impossible. Because the real test isn't knowing the path, it's walking it when it's hard. Ready? Let's keep going. Page 3, relapse and return. What to do when attachment takes over. In page 2, we transform Stoic rules into daily rituals. We learn to greet each day with intention, to reflect each night with honesty, to breathe, to endure discomfort, to speak to ourselves with clarity, to set boundaries with love. But here's the truth. Even with the best rituals, we will slip. Because we're human. Because love is messy. Because our hearts don't follow rules. So what do the Stoics say? About relapse? About those moments when attachment clutches your chest? When you send the message you swore you wouldn't? When you overthink the silence? When you feel the ache and want to numb it? 1. Accept imperfection as the practice. The Stoics didn't promise perfect mastery. They promised progress. They taught that the true test isn't avoiding failure, but how you respond when you fail. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love, not to control perfectly, but to try, to return, to forgive yourself and start over." Your first practice for relapse. Don't condemn yourself. Don't call yourself weak. Say, this is part of the work. Today, I begin again. Imagine you beg for attention you swore you wouldn't need. Later, you feel shame. But instead of spiraling, pause. Say, I see what happened. I see why. Tomorrow, I'll try another way. 2. Observe without judging. Epictetus taught, men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them. Relapse isn't disaster, it's data. It's information about what triggers you, what scares you, what you still want to heal. Your second practice, observe your slip like a scientist. Ask, what was I feeling in that moment? What thought drove my reaction? What need was I trying to meet? Don't shame it. Study it. Learn from it. You call someone after weeks of silence. You say things you regret. Later, you ask, what was I really seeking? Connection? Reassurance? Control? Now you see clearly, and that clarity is power. 3. Pause and return to principles. When your emotions flood, you pause. Remember your Stoic principles. Ask, is this in my control? Is this necessary? Is this aligned with who I want to be? Marcus Aurelius constantly wrote reminders to himself. He didn't assume wisdom would stick. He knew he needed to return to it again and again. Your third practice, when you relapse, pause. Return to your guiding questions. Realign? You write. A long message fueled by hurt. But before you hit send, you pause. You ask, will this bring peace or more pain? You breathe. You save it as a draft. You choose silence. That's Stoic discipline. 4. Reframe the story. Seneca said, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Relapse often happens because of the stories we tell ourselves. They don't care about me. I'm not enough. I'll be alone forever. Your fourth practice. Challenge these stories. Ask, is this true? Is this helpful? What else could be true? Reframing isn't lying to yourself. It's choosing the most empowering truth available. You tell yourself, they ignored me because I'm worthless. But you pause. You ask, is that true? Or did they have their own struggles? You choose. Their response doesn't define me. 5. USE Relapses Training. The Stoics trained for hardship. It welcomed discomfort as their teacher. Seneca practiced poverty so he wouldn't fear it. Epictetus embraced his status as a slave to train his mind. Your 5th practice, see relapse as training, a way to strengthen your understanding of yourself, to become more skillful at detachment, to see where you're still raw and work gently to heal it. You feel the urge to check their social media. You resist for a day, then you cave. Instead of berating yourself, you say, "Could I see where I'm hooked? Let's try again tomorrow." 6. Remind yourself of why you practice. Emotional detachment isn't about coldness. It's about freedom. It's about loving without losing yourself. When you relapse, it helps to remember why you're here. To say, I choose this practice so I can love better, so I can be whole, so I can stay calm even when I care deeply. You want to chase them, but you remember, chasing isn't love, it's fear. I choose to love without clutching, to give space for both of us to breathe. Relapse is not failure, it's feedback. It's the next lesson in mastery. The Stoic way isn't never falling. It's always rising. It's wiping the tears, taking the breath, starting again. Because emotional detachment isn't about avoiding love. It's about loving bravely without surrendering your peace. Now that we've explored relapse and return, let's talk about the biggest misconception about Stoic detachment, that it means not caring at all. On page 4, we'll reveal why. The Stoics didn't aim for numbness, but for clarity and compassion. Let's continue. Page 4. Detachment isn't numbness, the compassion of letting go. On page 3, we confronted relapse. We learned that falling back into attachment isn't failure, it's feedback. That Stoic practice means forgiving yourself, observing your triggers, pausing to reflect, choosing better next time. But now we face one of the biggest misunderstandings about emotional detachment. People hear detach and think stop caring. They imagine coldness, apathy, shutting people out. But that's not Stoic detachment. That's avoidance. That's fear disguised as wisdom. Stoic detachment is different. It's not about less love. It's about cleaner, freer love. 1. Detachment is loving without clinging. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you have the power to benefit someone, why put it off?" Love was never the problem. Clinging was. Trying to own someone, trying to control the outcome, attaching your worth to their responses. Detachment says, I love you enough to let you be you. I love myself enough to be whole without you. You're with someone who pulls away. Your fear screams. Chase them. But you pause. You breathe. You say, I don't need to grip you tighter. I choose to hold space. This is not indifference. It's deeper respect. 2. Detachment is acceptance, not aloofness. Seneca taught, fate leads the willing and drags the unwilling. A Stoic doesn't resist reality. They accept it. They see the truth of things, even when it hurts. Detachment is the courage to see someone clearly, to accept who they are without needing them to change for you. It's saying, I see you, even the parts that don't choose me. And I accept that. You want them to text back. You want them to promise forever, but they don't. So you choose to see reality. You whisper, I can't control this. I can only respond with grace. 3. Detachment is presence over possession. Epictetus said, never say about anything, I have lost it, but only I have given it back. The Stoics believed everything is borrowed. Life itself, time, health, love. Detachment trains us to savor the present without chaining it to the future, to appreciate someone's company now without demanding forever. It's gratitude over ownership, presence over possession. You're on a perfect date. Instead of worrying if they'll leave someday, you're fully there, laughing, listening. You think this moment is enough. 4. Detachment is responsibility for your own emotions. A Stoic knows no one else is responsible for your peace, your happiness, your healing. Detachment is choosing to own your reactions, your needs, your boundaries. It's saying, I will not make you responsible for my self-worth. I will hold that myself. They don't say, I love you back. Your heart twists. You want to lash out, but you pause. You say, my worth isn't defined by their words. I can soothe myself. 5. Detachment is making space for the other. True love breathes. Clingy love suffocates. Detachment is granting others the dignity of their own choices, their own timelines, their own growth. It's saying, I love you enough to let you choose not to pressure you into staying. They say they need space. Your fear says, if they loved me, they'd stay close. But you choose to let them go. You say, I respect your need even if it's hard. 6. Detachment is loving without expecting a return. Seneca wrote, he who receives a benefit with gratitude repays the first installment on his debt. Stoic gives freely, without calculating what they'll get back. Detachment is offering love, not trading it. It's saying, I choose to give, because that's who I am, not because you're obligated to return it. You help them move. You listen to their fears. They don't always reciprocate, but you don't hold it against them. You think, I give because I want to, not because I expect. 7. Detachment is freedom from neediness. At its core, detachment is freedom. Freedom from being ruled by your desires. Freedom from making others your emotional lifeline. It's choosing to love because you want to, not because you need to. You feel the urge to text them late at night, not out of joy, but out of fear of being alone. You pause. You choose sleep instead. You whisper, I can hold myself tonight. Detachment isn't coldness. It's warmth without possession, clarity without control, love without chains. It's the choice to show up fully and to release gracefully, to care deeply without clutching. Because real love doesn't demand. It offers. It accepts. It frees. This is Stoic detachment. Not a wall around your heart, but an open door with the wisdom to let people come and go freely. Now that we've reframed detachment, not as numbness, but as compassionate clarity, let's explore how to practice this daily. On page 5, we'll look at rituals, reminders, and mental habits that help you hold your center, even when love challenges you most. Let's continue. Page 5. Practicing Detachment Daily. Stoic Habits for Emotional Freedom. Channel: Marcus Aurelius Stoic Resilience. Video title: Stoic Rules on How to Emotionally Detach. Modern Stoic Life, Stoicism in Love and Relationships. On page 4 we shuddered. The myth that detachment is cold. We saw it as compassionate clarity, as loving without gripping, as accepting reality even when it hurts. Now comes the question Stoicism always asks. How do you practice it? Because knowing is nothing without doing. Wisdom lives in habit, in repetition, in the small choices no one sees. This page is your guide to making emotional detachment a daily practice. Not to push love away, but to welcome it cleanly. 1. Morning reflection, setting the tone for detachment. Marcus Aurelius began his days with intention. He reminded himself, I will meet selfish people, rude people, ungrateful people today. Why? Because expectation shapes reaction. For you, this means acknowledging you can't control others. You can only control your response. Practice. Each morning, ask, what am I willing to release today? Where might I want to control someone, and how can I let go instead? Start your day rooted in freedom, not grasping. You wake up thinking of them. The urge rises. Will they text me today? Instead of spiraling, you breathe. You say, I can want connection, but I don't need it to be okay today. 2. The check-in, midday realignment. Even Stoics lose their center. That's why they practiced returning. Halfway through your day, pause. Ask, am I holding too tightly right now? Where am I expecting someone to complete me? Can I soften my grip? Practice. Breathe deeply. Repeat. I let others be who they are. I stay rooted in who I am. You see, they read your message but didn't reply. Jealousy flares. You want to send something biting. Instead, you pause. You close your eyes. You say, I choose patience. 1. Choose self-trust. 3. Evening journaling via the Stoic Examen. Marcus Aurelius wrote nightly examining his choices, not to punish himself, but to learn, to grow. Practice. Each evening ask, where did I hold too tightly today? Where did I allow space? What will I do differently tomorrow? Detachment grows when you name the moments you clung and commit to letting go next time. At night, you remember wanting them to call. You realize you were angry when they didn't. Instead of judging yourself, you write, tomorrow, I will focus on what I can give, not what I can get. 4. The practice of silence, detaching from reaction. Epictetus taught us, people are disturbed not by things, but by the view they take of them. Detachment means pausing before reacting. Silence isn't avoidance, it's discipline. Practice. When you feel the urge to react, wait, count to 10. Ask, will this response serve love or control? You're tempted to send a wall of angry. Text, you pause. You let the phone rest. You take a walk. You decide, I don't need to say everything I feel. I can choose what serves. 5. Voluntary discomfort, training the mind to let go. Seneca practiced sleeping on the floor, wearing simple clothes. He called it rehearsal for adversity. Why? So that comfort didn't own him, so he could let go more easily. Practice. Choose. Small discomforts daily. Skip the extra indulgence. Take a cold shower. Say no when you want to say yes just to please. These train your mind to release attachment, to know you'll survive without what you think you need. You want to check there. Social media. You stop. You sit with the discomfort. You say, I can live with not knowing. I can stay in my lane. Asterisk 6. Gratitude is an anchor. Gratitude reframes attachment. It says, I'm thankful for what is, not desperate for what might be. Practice. Each day, write 3 things about your relationship you're grateful for without expecting them to continue. Savor the now. You're sad they're busy tonight. Instead of resenting it, you whisper, I'm grateful for the last time we talked. That memory is enough for now. 7. Service over selfishness. Detachment thrives in generosity. When you give freely without expecting return, you prove to yourself you don't need to hold people tightly to feel whole. Practice. Do something kind for them expecting nothing. Offer help without keeping score. They need space. You don't beg. You say, I'm here if you need me. Take your time. And you mean it. Detachment isn't something you do once. It's something you practice daily. It's in the morning breath, the midday pause, the evening reflection, the silent response, the grateful heart, the generous spirit. It's the choice to love with open hands, to respect their freedom and your own, to say, I will hold space for you, but I won't hold you captive. Now that you've seen how to practice detachment daily, let's go even deeper. On page 6, we'll explore the rewards of this practice. How living with emotional freedom transforms not just your relationships, but your entire life. Let's keep going. Page 6. The rewards of detachment. How freedom changes everything. On page 5, we explored how daily practice can turn emotional detachment from theory into lived reality. How small, repeated choices transform clinging into calm. But let's go even deeper. Let's talk about the rewards waiting for you on the other side of letting go. Because Stoicism doesn't just teach us to endure, it shows us how to flourish. 1. Peace of mind, less drama, more calm. When you let go of trying to control others, your mind quiets. The endless questions, do they like me? Will they leave? Why don't they text back? Begin to fade. Instead of obsessing over someone else's actions, you return to yourself. You breathe easier. You sleep better. You discover that peace isn't something they give you. It's something you create. You used to wait up for their reply, checking your phone every minute. Now you set it down. You read a book. You go to sleep knowing your worth isn't defined by a message. 2. Better relationships. Love without chains. Ironically, detachment doesn't kill love, it frees it. When you stop clutching, you stop suffocating, you allow them to breathe. You allow yourself to breathe. You become someone they want to come back to. Because love without expectation feels safe. It feels kind. They say they need space. You say, I understand. Take it. They see you respect them. And that respect grows into trust. 3. Clarity in decisions. When you're attached, you ignore red flags. You excuse bad behavior because you need them. Detachment is you clear eyes. You see them as they are not as you want them to be. You ask honestly, is this right for me? Does this align with my values? They keep canceling plans. Old you would beg for attention. Detached you says, I deserve consistency. You have the courage to walk away if needed. Asterisk 4. Greater self-respect. When you stop chasing validation, you start living in integrity. You realize you're enough, without needing them to prove it. Your confidence grows. Your posture straightens. You learn to love your own company. You take yourself out to dinner. No one to impress. No one to please. Just you at peace with yourself. Arguments used to trigger you. You'd react, say things you regretted, spiral into guilt. But with detachment, you learn to pause, to speak with intention, not impulse, to stay grounded even when they're losing their cool. They snap at you. Instead of firing back, you say, "I hear you're upset. Let's talk when we're both calm." Conflict diffused. Respect maintained. 6. True intimacy, not co-dependence. Detachment isn't distance. It's healthy space. It's knowing you can share everything but don't need them to fix you. It's choosing them freely, not out of fear. It's being whole on your own so you can offer something real. You tell them, "I want you, but I don't need you to save me." And they know you mean it. That truth deepens connection. 7. Resilience when things end. No one likes goodbyes, but they're inevitable. Detachment doesn't mean you won't hurt. It means you'll survive it. It means you'll thank them for the chapter and keep writing your story. They say it's over. Your heart aches. But instead of begging, you say, "Thank you for what we shared. I wish you well." And you mean it. You walk away with dignity, the Stoic promise. This is the promise of Stoic detachment. Not a life without love, but a life without chains. Not a heart that never breaks, but a heart that heals with grace. Not perfection, but practice. Because love doesn't thrive in control. It thrives in freedom. And Stoicism teaches us to offer that freedom to others and to ourselves. When you live these rewards, you don't just change your relationships. You change yourself. You become the calm in chaos, the lighthouse in storms, the person who can love deeply without losing their center. Page 7. The challenges of detachment. Overcoming the hurdles. We just explored the rewards of emotional detachment, the peace, clarity, and real love that follow. But let's be honest, this isn't an easy path. Stoic detachment sounds good in theory, but in practice, it tests you because you're not just letting go of them. You're letting go of the parts of yourself that cling, crave, and demand. 1. The fear of losing them. It's human to fear loss. Our minds whisper, "If I let go, they'll leave." We think holding tight keeps them close, but the Stoic knows true love isn't forced. Clinging drives people away. Respecting freedom invites them back. You want to check their phone. Instead, you hand them trust. They feel safe with you, not policed. And that safety grows connection. 2. The urge to control. We think if we can predict, manage, shape their behavior, we'll feel secure. But that's an illusion. Control is brittle. It breaks under pressure. Stoics teach us to ask, what's in my control? Their thoughts? No. Their actions? No, my response. Always. They cancel plans last minute. Old you would guilt trip them. Detached you says, I understand. Let's reschedule when you're free. You control yourself, not them. 3. A temptation to people please. You want to keep the peace, so you swallow your needs. Say yes when you mean no. But people pleasing isn't love. It's fear wearing a smile. Detachment means valuing your integrity over their approval, speaking your truth kindly, even when it risks conflict. They ask you to drop everything for them again. This time you say, I care about you, but I have plans I need to honor. Honesty over appeasement. 4. The pain of silence. Silence can feel brutal. You're used to constant contact. Validation through their words. But Stoicism says, silence is space to return to yourself, to remember you were whole before them. They don't text back for hours. Your mind races. But instead of double texting, you breathe. You go for a walk. You let silence teach you patience. 5. The pull of old habits. Clinging is familiar. Begging for scraps of attention feels safer than risking rejection. Detachment asks you to break that cycle, to choose dignity over desperation. They breadcrumb you just enough to keep you hooked. Old you would chase. Detached you says, I need consistency. If you can't offer it, I'll step back. You choose self-respect over hope. 6. The fear of being alone. Many resist detachment because they fear solitude. If I let go, I'll be alone. But the Stoic reframes this. Alone isn't empty. It's free. It's time to meet yourself. You spend Friday night alone. Instead of scrolling through old messages, you cook dinner for yourself. Watch your favorite movie. You remember your own company can be enough. 7. The risk of being misunderstood. People might say you're cold, detached, uncaring. But Stoicism isn't about apathy. It's about boundaries. It's about loving them enough not to smother them, and loving yourself enough not to shrink. They say, you've changed. You don't chase me anymore. You reply, I'm here because I want to be, not because I need to be. The Stoic solution. Practice, not perfection. Marcus Aurelius didn't promise detachment would be easy. He promised it would be worth it. Every urge to control, a chance to practice letting go. Every fear of silence, a chance to sit with yourself. Every moment of jealousy, a chance to choose trust. The truth is emotional detachment isn't about loving less. It's about loving better. Not from fear, but from freedom. Not from need, but from choice. It's saying, I want you in my life, but I don't need you to complete it. And in that space, real connection can grow. Now that we've faced the challenges, let's talk about the daily practices that help you live this out. On page 8, we'll explore routines, reflections, and rituals that make Stoic detachment second nature. Ready to keep going? Let's dive in. Page 8. Daily Practices for Stoic Detachment. We face the hurdles of detachment, the fear of loss, the pull of old habits, the ache of silence. But knowing the challenges isn't enough. We need daily practices to make detachment real, not just an idea, but a way of living. Because Stoicism isn't about avoiding love, it's about anchoring love in freedom. 1. Morning intention, setting the tone. The Stoics began their days with intention. Marcus Aurelius would remind himself, you will meet people who are rude, selfish, envious. This wasn't pessimism, it was preparation. When you love someone deeply, remind yourself, they're human. They'll disappoint me sometimes. I will choose to respond with grace. This morning ask, what can I control today? Repeat, I will not try to control them, I will control myself. Visualize responding calmly to challenges. 2. Midday pause. Returning to your center, the day gets noisy. Work stress, social media, conversations that sting. It's easy to lose yourself, to slip into reactivity. The Stoic pause is your reset button. It's a breath that says, wait, choose my response. Practice. When you feel triggered, stop. Breathe in. I am here. Breathe out. I release control. This simple ritual returns you to yourself. 3. Evening reflection. Learning from your day. Seneca advised reviewing each day before sleep, not to criticize, but to grow. This is where detachment becomes wisdom. Practice. Ask, where did I hold too tightly today? Where did I let go with grace? What will I try differently? Tomorrow, journal your thoughts. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress. 4. Voluntary silence. Making space for yourself. Modern love is noisy. Constant texting, checking, reassuring. But Stoic detachment thrives in quiet. Practice. Schedule silent time daily. No messages, no notifications. Just you, your thoughts, your breath. Use this time to remember, I am whole. 5. Setting healthy boundaries. Detachment isn't pushing people away. It's knowing where you end and they begin. Boundaries are love in practice. Practice. Before agreeing, ask, is this true to me? Learn to say, I can't do that right now. Honor your needs without apology. Boundaries create space where love can breathe. 6. Embracing solitude. Learning to be with yourself. Fear of being alone fuels unhealthy attachment. But Stoics found power in solitude. Practice. Take yourself on a solo walk. Eat a meal. Alone, mindfully reflect. What do I offer myself? This isn't loneliness, it's self-discovery. 7. Gratitude as an antidote to clinging. Attachment often comes from fear of losing what we have. Gratitude shifts focus from fear to appreciation. Practice. Each night, list 3 things you're grateful for about them. Then, list 3 things you're grateful for about yourself. Gratitude softens the grip of fear. 8. Practicing non-attachment in small ways. Detachment is built in small moments. Let someone finish their thought without interrupting. Resist checking your phone when bored. Allow plans to change without frustration. These are reps for your detachment muscle. 9. Using Stoic visualization. Marcus Aurelius practiced negative visualization, imagining loss not to suffer early, but to prepare gracefully. Practice. Reflect. If they chose to leave, could I let them? Feel the ache, but know you'd still stand. This prepares you to love with open hands. 10. SELF kindness. Compassion for yourself. Detachment doesn't mean harshness. It means honesty, yes, but also compassion. Practice. When you slip into neediness, don't shame yourself. Say, I see you. I understand why you're afraid, then choose again. Growth is in the rechoosing. These practices aren't glamorous. They're quiet, daily choices. But they add up to freedom, to healthier love, to a mind that's calm and clear, even when the heart aches. Detachment isn't love's enemy. It's love's protector. It says, I choose you, not because I have to, but because I want to. Now that we've built these daily habits, let's zoom out. On page 9, we'll explore how emotional detachment isn't about isolation, but about creating space for real, lasting connection. Ready to move forward? Let's keep going. Page 9. The paradox of detachment. Creating space for true connection. We've practiced daily habits of detachment, morning intentions, evening reflections, boundaries, gratitude. But you might wonder, isn't all this detachment cold? Doesn't it push people away? The truth is, detachment isn't about shutting people out. It's about letting them in without losing yourself. Detachment isn't rejection, it's liberation. Most people think attachment equals love, that if you care, you cling. But Stoics saw the opposite. Attachment can become neediness. Neediness can become control. Control poisons love. Detachment says, I love you enough to let you be fully yourself. I love myself enough to stand on my own. This is the ground where real connection grows, the freedom to choose freely. Marcus Aurelius wrote, love nothing but that which comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny. It means loving what is not what you demand it to be. When you detach, you stop trying to mold others. You see them clearly. You love their truth, not your fantasy. Practice. When they disagree with you, can you listen without defensiveness? When they need space, can you give it without resentment? When they change, can you adapt without fear? This is love that breathes. Emotional autonomy, the key to lasting bonds. Epictetus taught that we only truly possess our own choices, not others' thoughts, not their actions, not their love. Detachment honors this. It says, your emotions are yours. Mine are mine. No manipulation, no silent treatments, no guilt trips. Practice. Notice when you want to control how they feel. Pause. Remind yourself, their emotions are their responsibility. Return to your own calm. Boundaries as invitations, not walls. Boundaries are often mistaken for barriers. But Stoic detachment knows healthy boundaries create safe space. They invite others in with trust, 'cause you know where you end, and they begin. Practice. Communicate your needs clearly. Respect theirs without taking it personally. Let no be an act of honesty, not rejection. Boundaries build intimacy because they're built on respect. Loving without possessing. Seneca wrote about the impermanence of life. Everything is on loan, including the people we love. Clinging denies this truth. Detachment accepts it. It doesn't mean you love less. It means you love more purely, without trying to own, without fear of loss poisoning the present. Practice. When you feel jealousy rise, pause. Ask, am I trying to possess what isn't mine? Breathe. Choose trust over fear. Accepting change is part of love. People change. Relationships evolve. The Stoics didn't fight this. They prepared for it. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that everything changes, including love, including himself. Practice. Reflect. How have I changed in the past year? How might they change? Embrace this as natural, not threatening. Growth becomes shared instead of resisted. The power of presence over possession. Detachment teaches you to show up fully now, because you're not obsessed with holding on to tomorrow. You see them, you listen, you appreciate them as they are. No demands, no ultimatums, just presence. Practice. When with them, put the phone away, look them in the eyes. Hear them without planning your reply. This is connection, built on presence, not possession, letting go of the outcome. The hardest part of detachment? Accepting that you can't control where it all ends. Will they stay? Will they leave? Will the relationship last? Stoicism asks, Can you love well without guaranteeing the outcome? Because the answer to that question defines mature love. Practice. Each day, remind yourself, I can only control how I love, not whether I am loved back. Love anyway. Detachment isn't the enemy of love. It's the soil in which love can grow strong. It asks you to love with open hands, to be brave enough to stay present even knowing nothing is guaranteed, to find peace in giving love freely without demanding it in return. Because in the end, the Stoic lover knows freedom is the foundation of connection. Acceptance is the root of peace. Presence is the gift we give moment by moment. Now that we've understood how detachment creates space for real connection, let's take one final step. On page 10, we'll gather every lesson from this journey into a single, powerful reflection, a promise to ourselves, a guide we can return to any time we feel lost or overwhelmed. Ready? Let's finish this together. Page 10, the final promise. Living the Stoic way in love and life. Reflecting on our journey, we've traveled far together, from the roots of emotional attachment to the practices of reflection and gratitude, setting boundaries with respect, embracing detachment not as coldness but as freedom. We've seen how Stoicism isn't about pushing people away. It's about bringing them closer without losing ourselves. The paradox of detachment. The Stoics knew what so many forget, that to hold someone tightly is to crush them, that to demand love is to destroy it, that true connection requires space, room to breathe, room to choose freely. Detachment doesn't kill love. It purifies it. It says, I see you. I don't own you. I love you enough to let you be free. The core virtues in love. Remember the 4 Stoic virtues? They aren't just ideas. They're tools. Wisdom. Seeing clearly without illusions. Courage. Choosing honesty even when it's hard. Justice. Treating them fairly even when it costs you. Temperance. Saying no to impulses that harm trust. These virtues don't end at the temple door. They walk with us into every conversation, every conflict, every moment of intimacy. Loving without chains. Seneca taught that all things are on loan from nature, even those we love. This isn't sad, it's liberating. It means every moment is precious. Every goodbye is a chance to cherish what was given. Practice. When you feel fear of losing them, breathe. Remember, I can love them without trying to keep them. Let go of guarantees. Choose presence over possession. The strength to accept change. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, all is change, all is flux. Love will shift, people will grow. Relationships will evolve or end. The Stoic doesn't resist this. They embrace it with open eyes. Practice. Reflect. Am I trying to freeze what should flow? Am I resisting the truth of what is? Breathe into acceptance. Boundaries as love's framework. Boundaries aren't rejection. They're respect. They say, I will not hurt you with my expectations. I will not let you hurt me with your disregard. They create safe space, a container where trust can grow. Practice. Speak your needs calmly. Listen to theirs without defense. Honor the space between you. Emotional sovereignty. Epictetus taught us that we only control our judgments, our choices. Not theirs, not their moods, not their reactions. A Stoic lover doesn't seek to manipulate. They offer love as a gift, not A bargain. Practice. Notice when you're trying to make them feel something. Step back. Return to your own center. Presence over possession. Detachment's greatest gift? The ability to be fully here. Not obsessed with the future. Not imprisoned by the past. Just present. Just loving. Practice. When with them, put away distractions. Look at them. Listen. Let yourself see them as they are. The Stoic promise to love well. So here is the final promise, not to avoid love, but to love bravely, clearly, freely, without illusion, without possession. To let love be what it is, not what fear wants it. To be the final reflection. Ask yourself, can I love someone without demanding they save me? Can I let them grow even if it means growing away? Can I stay present even when it hurts? Can I choose clarity over control? This is Stoicism in love, not the death of feeling, but the birth of true connection, a parting image. Picture two trees growing side by side. Their roots don't strangle each other. Their branches don't block the other's light. They grow strong, not by clinging, but by standing free. That is the Stoic way of love. Thank you for walking this path with us. If this message brought you even a moment of clarity, welcome to the channel. We're just getting started. See you in the next chapter. And until then, stay grounded, stay grateful, stay stoic.